our mindset in high school, at the end of it, it's basically, it doesn't matter what our mindset is because we have the structure around us that kind of holds us into our routine. And once you get to college, like, you are legally an adult and the college basically treats you as such. So you do have to have a certain like rigidity built into yourself in order to maintain that same level of like accomplishment, I would say. Yeah.
What do you mean by structure?
So if your mindset in high school is like, I'm not particularly focused on like getting something done, but I like the good grades or whatever, something like that. You don't have to be as deliberate because when you're going to school and spending that much time like with in class, right? It's just like kind of the natural order of things that you end up being productive for a big part of your day. Yeah, that's what I would say.
Yeah, I think in high school too, it's like there's a lot more hand holding than it is compared to college.
Yeah, for sure.
Like a lot of high school is like exposing you, or like a lot of teachers and all the activities, it's about exposing you
Yeah.
to things. But in college, it's more like you like have to do things or you have to start things yourself before anything will come to you instead.
It's like they give you the objective, which is you have to know the material, and they don't actually bring you to it. They just give
sure.
you the objective. Yeah.
For sure. And I think in my experience, in the beginning of high school, I was really excited out of middle school going to high school.
Yeah.
Because it's like I was fully exposed to so many things, and it was about like what I wanted to do,
Yeah.
And then in college instead, because I like tried different things, it was like the opposite. It was like I knew what I did not want to do.
Okay.
Like what I didn't want to continue, right? Did you have any experiences like that?
I think that most people haven't had the variety of kind of activities that you had in high school, and so college ends up being the place where they actually explore outside their bubble more. But for college, like you kind of have a sense of like what you like, and it's like you are able to find more things that you like. That's the way that I would see it. Yeah.
I think too, like in high school, like how you were saying with structure and rigidity, I want to ask what you meant by that.
So, like, it's to the point where you want to use the restroom, you got to ask the teacher. You want to listen to music while you work, you have to ask the teacher. They do confine you a lot, and the benefit of that is that you are funneled into this sort of pathway of just like getting stuff done, even if it is uncomfortable. But like in college, like there's none of that. It's all has to be intrinsic, because you're responsible for yourself at that point, like fully. Yeah.
That's a good point. I didn't think of it like that. What I thought that you meant was like you had structure in the people around you. I mean, in college, it's kind of like it depends on the college, but
Yeah.
in college, usually there's a lot more kids than there is in a
Yeah.
person's high school. And so, like, classes, for example, in high school are like for the full year, so you're around the same classmates, and then eventually maybe you guys all become friends or something like that, right?
Yeah.
In college, it's a very different, right? Like, there's different people that you see, and you have to end up walking to all these different places, at least in my experience. And then you see a lot of different faces. I mean, over time, it kind of becomes, you ever seen that, the person that you run into all the time?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have that too, but I don't know, in high school, it obviously depends on the school, but it's like you're kind of running into the same people, and there's like structure in.
Yeah. Like there's a community in a sense.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
say that the size of like how many people there are at a college campus, it's paradoxical, but there's so many people that you feel lonelier than like having that like close connections that you did in high school. It's rather you're navigating a swath of people. That's the way I'd see it.
That's interesting that you say that, because I actually relate to that too. For my college, it's not actually very big in population. I think my high school and my college are like a little comparable, actually.
Okay.
But that being said, me being around in college and like walking around in college, it was weird because like I feel like everyone was the new kid. There's like not many people who had like friend groups coming into it, like how you would have middle school to high school.
For sure,
right?
yeah.
Yeah. That was really cool. I like what you mean by you feel more lonely when you're exposed to more people, because it's like it's hard to really tell who you could stick with, since
Yeah.
In my experience, my old friends and old friend group went all different places. You know?
It's kind of like there's a saying like in like a small town there's no strangers, you know, but then in a big city everybody's a stranger. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's interesting.
Do you have any more kind of leading questions for this topic?
I wanted to ask, like, have you ever had? What was your experience like? Talking more about like loneliness and making connections. What was your experience in high school versus college, like making new friends or whatever?
Well, in college, in the class that I go to in person, there's always gonna be like bots or whatever, like you know what I mean. Like that's just the way it is. But it feels like you go into a class and you literally don't know a single person in that class when you get in. That's like an experience that you never had like since you were in kindergarten, basically.
Exactly.
And so it can feel like really just navigating like on your own, and that's pretty rough, honestly. Yeah.
What do you think about like how we were talking about how your friend group kind of goes like which way and you're on your own? What was it like being more on your own? In my experience, right? Like I'm kind of fine and like literally just walking alone on my own and like spending alone time.
Yeah.
I'm actually pretty good with that. Like I enjoy it. You know, I go on walks or whatever, stuff like that. I spend a lot of time
A bit introverted
thinking.
in some ways.
Yeah, for sure. And then like in my experience, it wasn't terrible with like being alone when I was back in high school.
Yeah.
But being alone in college was like completely different because it's like I didn't have those people I could fall back to when I was
Yeah.
done with alone time.
Exactly.
You know?
I think that having to, and this is pretty personal, but having to like really actively seek out like, oh, let's hang out, like versus it being like this very natural thing that you're seeing these people and then it's like very easy, like back in high school that you'd have regular hangouts and such, you know?
For sure.
Yeah. And I would say I'm a bit different from you in the sense of like I don't like having too much alone time. You know, I think that I literally feel like I have less energy if if I don't go out in a day. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's also a good point too with the beginning of high school versus the beginning of college. It's like beginning of college, almost everyone has like a car, you know, so
Yeah.
they could kind of just like go wherever anyways. Yeah. And then in high school, obviously you're just a lot younger, so you probably don't have your driver's license or close to it, to be honest.
Yeah.
And then you're kind of just like stuck with the people around you, which is funny because that's how drama kind of gets started because you're just always in front of each other's faces.
Yeah.
What do you think about drama and all of that stuff like that? Like, I don't know, those conflicts from high school?
I think that
Looking back on it now.
the conflicts that you have in high school, it's kind of silly, but like doesn't make too much sense for the most part, and a lot of it would just be addressed if people were to be okay with communicating versus like, oh, I'm just not gonna talk to you, like that type of thing going on. That seemed to happen quite a bit in high school.
For sure. But the thing is like, looking back on it, we could say that, right?
Yeah.
But in that age, or for the people in that age, it's like important to them, you know?
Yeah.
Because that's where their mind is at, you know? Like that, this is more important rather than like, or what's it called? A lot of people say like protecting your peace, and then inversely, even though people say protecting your peace, by being so focused on yourself, at least in my experience and what I've seen and what I've done, like it kind of ends up in the opposite, you know? When it's like you're protecting your peace so much, you're just like, yeah, fuck you, I don't give a fuck about you.
Oh,
Stuff
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
And then that's kind of where stuff kind of goes like belly up.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And like, I think that's a good point that you said too. In high school, in my experience, especially as seniors, like every classroom or every class kind of just became like a hangout. But
Yeah.
when everybody kind of got closer.
It's like you could be put in any class and you'd have at least like 2, 3 like buddies. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Yeah.
And I think also like in my experience, like senior year was really, really special.
Yeah.
Because it's just like everyone's just like, oh my god, you're leaving.
It's a culmination of a lot of time spent together, and
Oh, yeah.
it's really really great, honestly. And it's a time where I would say senior year is generally less stressful than junior year for a lot of people, and so
Especially second semester.
Yeah, it's a time where you really get to enjoy your life for sure.
And I think like what was your experience like mentally versus like first semester senior year and second semester senior year? Like first semester in my experience is like there's kind of a lot going on, but also like nothing going on. And a big part of it is obviously because of college apps.
Yeah. I think that because of college apps, it's like you're doing a lot less of what you want to do, and that makes it feel like you have less activity and more
For
burden.
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. And I think also like I don't know, this was interesting to me. Personally, I didn't have the biggest problem with it, but people have a really hard time writing about themselves in the personal essay.
Yeah.
Did you?
It's because you have to define this extremely complex image that you have of yourself, like all the things, and then you have to put it on a paper and say, "I'm proud of what I wrote," and
Wow.
that's really really hard to do. Yeah.
What do you mean?
Well, you know yourself like so well that to express it in their limited like 350 words, like I bet anybody could write about themselves like over 3,000, 4,000 words, like no problem. And to have to kind of package yourself is very very rough, I would say. That's not an easy task. Yeah.
That's a good point, especially when they want you to focus on kind of like one experience usually. Like sometimes in personal essays, they ask you to focus on like one thing that you've done, or it's like it's easier to focus on one thing that you've done. But like looking back on it, there's like so many things that you could choose from too. Yeah. What about second semester? How was it for you?
Second semester was it was okay, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Of senior year, I had personal stuff going on, but I just I think academically it wasn't too rough. Yeah.
For me, in my experience, like second semester senior year was literally party time.
Yeah?
Yeah, because it's like I didn't have college apps to do, and then I participated in the play and whatever I had. It was really busy because I was still doing like visual and performing arts, and like towards the end of the year it gets a lot more, but suddenly things just became like really fun.
You were doing things with your time, filled up, you're busy doing things you like.
Exactly. That's a good point. I was busy doing the things that I wanted to do,
Yeah.
so it wasn't like I was busy at all. Yeah, and it's like thinking back on it. Can you remember back in freshman year looking up at the seniors and be like, "Yo, they're like a million years away."
Bro, like in like my image of the seniors when I was a freshman, they're older than I am right now. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, oh my, they were gigantic too.
Yeah.
And they're intimidating, not gonna lie. And then it's crazy to think that like even at the time I was like a little bit taller than a fair amount of them too. But it was still like mentally it was intimidating. Do you have people who are like younger than you who are like sad to see you leave?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, it's normal, and since I'm still in the area, I meet up with those that I'm pretty close with. Yeah.
Well, what was it like for you from being the person who would be sad to see the others leave into becoming the person that people are sad to see leave?
I'm gonna be honest, I didn't have many upperclassmen friends,
Oh,
so
wow.
yeah, it was chill. Most of my friends are either my age or younger. Yeah.
Oh, but so you didn't have too many people that you looked up to?
Yeah. I mean, I guess people on the volleyball team. If you knew Emmett Lowe, it was pretty sad to see him leave. Yeah, but I think overall, not too many people.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was interesting for me because, especially in the theater departments, there's people of all different grades. And so there are people who've done it for like 4 years or people who've done it for their first time. And then being a part of that and like seeing people like, I don't know, like cry over it, it was like, wow, that was insane.
I think what's beautiful about what little exposure I have had to your community in the theater, you guys are all like really close, and you guys like it's a really positive kind of community, and I really admire that. Yeah.
Yeah. Do you think in like the later stages of high school, for example, that there's like less drama compared to like the first 2 years, especially in senior year?
I'm gonna be honest, it was like the same throughout. Yeah,
Really?
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it felt like the people around me didn't change too much.
Oh, you think so? That's interesting. Huh. Yeah, in my experience, I've seen a lot of people change and grow over the years, especially in like their maturity and like the things that they care about, and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
In my experience, because I don't know, I feel like everybody just felt that everybody else was leaving. It's like, and everyone had cars, so it's like if you didn't fuck with somebody, you could just leave. So
Yeah.
in my experience, like there was a lot less drama in senior year because just like everyone was just having fun. That was my experience at least. So I don't know. It's obviously different for everyone, but it's just something to think about how that kind of changed. Yeah. What do you think now that we're in college? That like how like did you think it was hard to believe that you were the same person that you were last year? Have you ever felt like that?
I thought that like the time that I graduate would never come. Even when I was 1 year
Exactly.
away from, I was like, oh, that's not happening. I mean, like,
Exactly.
yeah. I think that who I am right now is it's been mostly linear kind of growth over time. That's that's the way that it's been for me.
Why do you think that is?
That's just been the natural progression of who I am, I think. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. In my experience, like if your growth was like this or like this,
Yeah.
my growth was like
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It kind of just goes everywhere because of all the experiences and how different everyone is. Yeah. I think also for some people in particular, like they put a lot of thought into themselves. Me personally, I've tried to just do a lot of different type of stuff because that's the type of person I want to be, to like kind of like, try out a couple
Yeah.
of things. And then, I don't know, it kind of just ended me in a lot of different spots. So it was cool. But in college, I remember thinking so many times, I was like, oh my God, what happened to me? I used to be so cool. Now
Hey,
no
don't
one knows me,
worry.
I'm a loser.
You're still pretty cool, bro. Don't worry about that. You're
you
the
are.
podcast dude.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, before I knew it, like a lot of people really like the podcast. I didn't know that. So
I think it's like nobody else is doing it, and it's just nice that you're just chatting and it's like recorded. It's pretty cool.
yeah, thank you. Yeah, that's why I want to definitely try to do it now more because I'm in like a different mindset. That being said, in the beginning of the year in college, I was very confused about like what I wanted to do, right? Because I knew that I didn't want to continue with like visual and performing arts like how I used to.
Okay.
Just because it took a lot of my time and I feel like it wasn't for me in the long run.
Okay. Yeah.
But coming into college, I was in the mindset of like, I'm just going to do the podcast and my academics. That's all I'm going to do. And then I went to college and I was like, wow, this is the most lonely I've ever been in my whole life. And this is coming from someone who spends like a lot of alone time and still has like a friend group of friends, even though they might not be in my college, but I still have like a couple solid friend groups anyways. But I was like walking alone and I was like, oh nah.
Yeah.
My heart was breaking. It was insane. Especially me in particular, I didn't have like almost no one from our high school went to Concordia. Like
Yeah.
very little people. Or one person actually.
I think for even if a lot of people go to the university that you go to, usually you're not particularly like close with them, and then also even if you are, the way college is, you generally won't-
Branch out.
Yeah, you branch out. You won't actually hang out with the people that you did in high school all the time. That's the way it works.
That's true. And like for me, the reason that I said like, have you ever thought it was crazy to see your progression? For a long time in college, I had that mindset. I was like, man, what happened to me? I used to be so cool. But even though I did like I'm like doing a fair amount of stuff in college now, it's like high school, especially senior year, was like really, really special. And it's like looking back on it, even though there was a lot of like annoying parts, like I don't regret anything.
I think to me, I think back to high school so fondly right now, but
Yeah.
it's like if I talk about that too much, and I seem like the uncle who peaked in high school. Yeah.
No, it's okay. I mean, we're just beginning college.
Yeah,
anyways.
yeah.
Yeah.
But almost like I don't really want to let it go, the
Oh,
time
yeah.
that I had there, and I still show up to Portola like Sometimes, yeah, concerts, events. Sometimes I go see the volleyball team that's there, and also see some of my old teachers. Yeah, it was a pretty good experience overall.
I think like I don't know, high school for me, like obviously looking back on it, it was really fun, but there were so many like annoying moments that like when I think about the annoying moments, I remember like getting angry again, like how I was before. For example, like being a part of tech, and then tech was obviously like one of the best things that have ever happened to me, but there were some really annoying moments.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of times where I had to yell at people or I'd get angry and stuff. And to be honest, to be completely honest, I'm not the best with my anger, you know. So
I mean, you've been pretty chill for most of the time I know you, so.
no, but like when I'm mad, I start like punching and shit.
All right, that's
Not,
crazy.
not people, but like bricks and stuff. Yeah. Yeah, but like looking back on it is like the reason that I stopped doing all those things was also because like I wanted to keep that special moment in time in that time, you know? Like I feel like for sure if I continued with visual and performing arts, it would be like stretching it or like it definitely would not be the same at all.
I think it's like you don't want to spoil kind of the beautiful memories that you already made. You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt something like that?
Yeah. And I guess that's part of the reason why I didn't continue volleyball. Because I had a feeling that like the highest level that I would participate in would be varsity on my senior year. Like, and if I were to kind of compromise that and like play at a lower level, not sure if I'd be okay with that. So yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that like but the thing is for me too, I don't know if you feel that way, but I felt very immensely satisfied from where I left off in senior year.
Yeah.
You think so too?
I would be as well. I think both extracurriculars and also like at the very end of my senior year, I made new friends that I hang out with, these days. So it's always good.
Yeah. And I think something that was really fun is because I also had the same experience where, like, that friend group, I ended up spending a lot more time with them, hang out with them more regularly. And that was really special, too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just so special thinking back on it. I don't know. What were the things that you did back in high school?
So first 2 years, I was the most academically locked in person I knew.
Okay.
And then it was the most, like, the biggest, like, fucking crash out after. Yeah. And then what I did for fun was obviously a lot of volleyball, and I did music like throughout high school, but just on my own. And then I did participate in choir, and I had such a blast. Honestly, it was so fun. And I always kept up with this like Rubik's Cube hobby thing, and I still there's some friends from school that I would do it with, so that was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. I have something that I thought of today, actually.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that, like, once you were doing another thing, that other skill got better? For example, like, have you ever felt that, like, once you got better at, I don't know, going to competitions for your Rubik's Cube, that you got better at academics or volleyball? Have you ever felt like that?
Yeah, I think that it's kind of twofold. Is that you're taking a break from what you're doing, and it often either like erases bad habits or like mentalities that are kind of holding you back, or also you have just a fresh perspective in some ways that helps you, I think.
What do you mean? Like, what do you think more?
If you kind of look in a different direction, then you won't be stuck. That's what I was. Yeah.
That's a good point. And I think too, for me, for a while until like pretty much today, before I put some serious thought into it, I was kind of in the mindset of like it's a zero-sum game. You know, like if I do this thing more, then this thing comes back, and everything.
Yeah.
The reverse, right? But that's not necessarily true.
I don't think it's true. Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good point that you made. Like it takes a break, and like, well, what do you mean more about like the mentality barriers that you kind of break by doing one thing, and then it helps with the other one?
It's mostly subconscious, I would say. Like let's say academically, you're really struggling with like a procrastination issue. Just like getting in fresh headspace, like after doing something else, then you're able to move forward, and you like either won't be as burnt out, or like you'll be able to make progress, I would say.
For sure, for sure. And I think in my experience, because I used to play volleyball a little bit back in high school too.
Yeah.
Like going to concerts and participating in concerts as a performer, it helped me be a lot less nervous for games.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you feel the same way for something?
I do actually, for sure. I think that and all coaches notice that as well. It's like when I got into choir and I had to, sing in front of like a lot of people, and I even did like a couple solos
Yeah,
in front
you
of
did.
like a pretty big crowd. Like that, exposing myself to that kind of situation is like it's more nerve wracking than what I had to do in volleyball, and like the coaches recognized that I seemed so much more assured in myself when I was playing, and yeah, it translated well for me.
And I think too, like I don't know for you, but personally, I fucked up a lot in concerts over my
Yeah.
career, and so it's like it's not only being in the mindset of like being self assuring in the beginning, but also like when you do mess up, being able to bounce back is really important too. Obviously, in volleyball, all points end in a mistake, right? So it's really big that you know how to bounce back. So it's not only like concerts into volleyball, but also volleyball into concerts and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, I agree with that for sure.
Yeah. There was a channel that I used to watch a long time ago, actually. Have you ever heard of Deep Game? It was more focused for basketball.
Deep game, no, bro.
So they talked on that show, it was more about like the mental, internal, psychological parts of competition rather than physical. Like
Okay.
it was a basketball channel, but they focused, I think it was just one person. So he focused more, I forgot his name. He focused more on the psychological parts in in his talking programs. And so one of my like most curious questions was answered by him, and he said he presented it in a situation like my teammate who usually doesn't perform too well in games and is kind of goes around as kind of just like a scoreboard player, but nothing, not like big impact on the court in basketball terms, of course. And then he said that once that friend got a girlfriend, he started playing way better. You know?
Oh, okay.
And then the way he thought of it is because like if you put so much mental pressure into something, you'll tense up and then you'll start to like mess up rather than it kind of just like letting out fluidly, you know? But now that you have something else, like obviously a person who enjoys your presence that could kind of like take away that mental pressure and then kind of like guides you towards more relaxation and like freedom and expression, then it helps you to play a lot better. And I think it's the same principle too here, where it's not just a zero sum game, that like doing good in one thing will actually help with the rest of your skills as well.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, for sure. And I think in academics it applies as well. Like
sure.
people, they think that what you do in English class might not affect how you do in science class, but I feel like that it actually does translate a lot, even if you don't expect it. Yeah.
For sure. What do you mean?
Like if you focus a lot on your essay writing skills, when it comes to taking tests for science, like there's like a huge benefit to it, and it's this interdisciplinary kind of benefit that yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah. I think like I don't know. I don't know specifically about the education system in terms of
Okay.
criticisms that people usually have, but people forget that it's a skill to know how to think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like knowing how to kind of like work your head around certain problems, no matter what it is. You know, it's more like obviously like there's like different types of content, right? Like science or English, but it still goes through your head. You know, like you
Yeah.
still have to like think about it through your head, anyways. So just knowing how to like simplify it and put it into terms that you understand is the most important part of it too. You know.
They say like you don't do the bench press so that one day miraculously you're able to slide under a falling car and bench press it up from like a kid under it. Like
That's
like
true.
like
That's true.
like that's not the reason why you do it. And so what you do, like it has like a broader impact for sure. Like what you learn. Yeah.
Not only that, but for certain things too, it's also like quite literally it does impact it positively. For example, like exercise or a sport or something quite literally does boost your mental,
Yeah.
yeah, your like your mental neural pathways or whatever. It makes it more like snappy and your metabolism burns and your mind just like works better as a result. So it's not only just like theoretical or psychological ideas. It's also like there literally is benefits for exercise, but also in other things too.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
Yeah. But like I said, the baseline of it, or I didn't say it before, but like the baseline of a lot of that is mindset, you know?
Yeah.
Like knowing where the mindset of confidence comes from, knowing how to like, you know, being in choir, for example, if someone's like struggling with like a note or something or like a type of tone, like you don't just say "fuck you, you're so bad," you know. I
Yeah.
mean, you
Yeah.
could, but like it probably wouldn't work that well, you know.
It's not helpful, like, to their mindset, like, going forward in choir, and also it's not a good mindset for you to take on when it comes to
Exactly.
helping somebody out.
Exactly. And it's like assisting someone in that way could also imagine someone's going through something with their family or with their friends or
Yeah.
whatever. Like you wouldn't also just say like "suck it up." It's like no, that
Yeah,
person's
yeah,
mom just died. It's like it's not. You wouldn't do that. You know. It kind of does translate in that way as well. You know, like the principles of like karma or yin and yang.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Chinese. I know.
Like, do you personally believe in either of those?
Not sure. Agnostic.
Okay. I mean, the way that I define it is like basically with karma, what you put in is what you put out or what you get out, you know? And then yin and yang, I just think of it as like there's equal good and equal bad in the world and what will happen to a person, you know? And honestly, I feel like there's merit to both. Like, I agree with both, honestly. In my experience, you know, there's probably all like the corny Sigma shit on Instagram of like the the lion has to fall before he climbs.
Oh my god, bro.
I believe it is true though that like for a person to do better, they have to do worse at first.
Yeah.
You know, like if someone wants to learn something, they have to be bad at it first, naturally, right?
You can't keep avoiding going outside of what you're already comfortable with.
That's true. That's true. And it's like, then again, right? With the idea of karma, if you don't do anything, you won't get anything out. You know?
Okay. Yeah.
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 It kind of like coincides, even though I think they're from different ideologies. I think.
They are. Yeah. But they're both like Eastern traditions,
Yeah.
so they have a lot in common.
Yeah, for sure. What do you think? Do you have any experiences or thoughts about those?
It's a family story. Basically, my grandparents, my dad, like investing in the stock market. It seemed the more that they donated money to charity, the better their stocks would do, and it like persisted for like years like this.
Yeah.
And then it was like, at a certain point, like they just kept giving, and then at a certain point, they're like, okay, we're gonna sell and we're cash out. Sold at the perfect time, like right before 2008 crash.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
Wow.
perfect. It was like God bestowed it upon them. So yeah,
That's really cool.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, and in my experience too, with something that I put a lot of time to, I don't know if you know, but I used to be a really big Smash player.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. You'd play at school with like
Ben and Connor.
Yeah, Connor. Yeah.
Yeah, I used to play all the damn time. I was the best in Portola.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's
then
awesome.
I had to pass the torch. Yeah, but then those kids I played with, they got pretty good. But anyways, with Ben and Connor are our friends, and like I got really close with Ben and Connor because I was good at Smash.
Yeah.
Literally, like I literally was Ben's coach, and then as we played more, and then I met them back in, or I met Ben back in freshman year, and then I reconnected with Connor in sophomore year because technically we met back in elementary. But anyways, like I put so much time into Smash that it actually helped me to bond with Ben and Connor and deepen our friendship. You know, obviously our friendship wasn't just Smash, but
Yeah.
it's like we spent a lot of time going to each other's houses just playing games over and over. And then before I knew it, we were really good friends, you know? And like amazingly, the more time that I put into that game, it kind of ended up obviously I was friends with Ben and Connor, but
Yeah.
after that it was like I became friends with their friends, and
Yeah.
then it kind of just like kept on spreading out, you know. And then before I knew it, I was like going out every day for lunch with them, and then I don't know, we go to like the Angels game, and Connor's uncle randomly has some crazy
Oh,
tickets or
yeah.
whatever. Yeah,
I
And
think
then-
it's a beautiful thing that like your interests like they create connections with other people. You know.
exactly. Have you ever felt like that? Like the more time you put into a skill or a certain aspect
Yeah,
of yourself.
absolutely. Yeah. And once I kind of noticed that pattern with like every skill that I've ever picked up, every hobby, every interest, I literally like I'm actively applying to like animal pet shelters because
Oh,
like
nice.
yeah, because not only do I really enjoy spending time with like animals and stuff like that, I also think it's a good place to meet people that are similar to me. Yeah.
Exactly. And even just talking about it, it's like socially interesting, you know?
Yeah.
It's like pretty unique. It's cool.
Yeah.
And then let's couple that with what we were talking about before, right? Not only the more you commit into one thing, like I said, it's not a zero sum game. You know, if it's like, let's say it's like boxes, you know, on like a line, like the more you put into each box, it isn't like there's less of the other one. In fact, the more you put into one box and the deeper you go, the more everything else kind of gets like pulled with it, you know? Like your bag of tricks
Oh
kind of
yeah.
expands like it, you know what I'm saying?
It's like just going out there and doing stuff. It brings good for
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
Yeah, not just doing stuff, but like really committing to it too can really turn out in a positive way in everything,
Absolutely.
you know?
They say like if your mental health is crap, hit the gym. And it's like it
Exactly.
doesn't necessarily seem like okay, well if my physical health is good, that's not my mental. But it's like it's that analogy, you know, you're pushing that box down and other good things will
Well, fall with it,
fall
yeah.
with it and you will do better mentally.
Exactly, exactly, and that is true. Like a lot of, and all of the doctors would say, like the best mental health and the best therapy is the gym. You know,
Yeah.
that's the best hospital. Mental.
But also do go to therapy if you need it.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm saying that as a psychology student.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I don't know that, but that's a good point. And also, like thinking about that is inspiring too. You know, in my time back in high school, I was thinking like, man, did I for real like waste all my time? Because I'm not even continuing VAPA anymore, you know? So it's like, shoot, did I just waste all of my time?
Didn't you do it for the fun of that time?
Exactly,
Right?
exactly. But it's also like I spent so much time doing that. Maybe
Yeah.
what if I just like studied harder? Or what if I did other stuff? You know, like the what ifs kind of seeped in, right? But now that I'm in the mindset of just like, no, nothing was for naught. Like I still made like lots of friends and lots of experiences, and you know some life term changes just by doing what I wanted. And I was like, of course not. Like of course it wasn't all for naught. Like of course it
Yeah.
meant something. Yeah.
It's like your actions of being active. They are the pieces that lead you to like all the facets of your life that exist right
Exactly,
now.
exactly. And even if your growth may be linear or anything, like your path of life won't ever be linear. You know, there's so many different roadblocks and obstacles that you have to go through to kind of be the person that you want to be, even if that means, you know, taking a different route or a route that takes a while. You know, it's an inspiring message. The talking stage is trying to spread.
Go out and do something.
Yeah, go out,
Dedicate yourself.
do
Come
whatever
on.
you want. Dedicate yourself. Exactly. All right, great. And you have anything else you want to say?
No, no.
All right. Thank you all so much for watching.
Take care.